There are a lot of different opinions about the book of Revelation. You could spend literally years researching all the different points of view on the millennium or some of the symbolism that you find there in the book of Revelation. But one of the things that nearly everyone agrees about is that the last two chapters of Revelation are a picture of the end. That they are a vision of eternity, of life with God. And that's where we'll close out this series together in the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 21, starting in verse 1. I just want to read a few of these verses with you. John writes, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and will be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more pain or death or crying or mourning, for the old order has passed away.' And he who was seated on the throne said, 'I am making all things new.'" I want to just give you a minute to let your imagination just take up this vision. And John writes all of this and it fires our imagination, but spend a few minutes talking about how you picture all of this in your mind's eye. And share maybe what element of John's vision really speaks to you the most right now. In Revelation 21 and 22, one of the things that it says about Jesus is that he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Of course, Alpha and Omega may not mean a lot to us. Those are the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, so it's sort of like we would say something is covered from A to Z. So think about what the writer is trying to say about Jesus. That it all begins with him and that it ends with him. Spend some time thinking about this, and I'd love for you to go over to the book of Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. And I'd love for you to read what the Hebrew writer says there as well. And how do we fit those things together? What we find in Hebrews and what we find in Revelation about the identity of Jesus. Also tonight, I'd love for you to spend some time in the verses that are at the end of Revelation chapter 21. Revelation 21, verses 22 through 27. It's a powerful vision. Take some time to read that and then talk about what really resonates with you out of that part of John's vision. In Revelation 22, verse 7, Jesus says something really interesting. He says, "Behold, I'm coming soon. Blessed is he who keeps the word of this prophecy that is found in this book." So my question for you is this: why do you think Jesus concludes this vision of heaven with such a strong word about obedience? So this final picture that we find here in the book of Revelation, it's a picture of eternity. And it is so powerful. It is so glorious. It tells us that the story of God ends in glory. And this is the truth toward which our lives are pointed. Everything that we do as the people of God should be oriented toward this moment. And so may our lives bear witness to the one who is making all things new. And until that day comes, when we experience the fullness of this promise in a place where there is no more mourning, no more pain, no more crying, and no more death, may our imaginations be captivated by this vision And may we do everything we can to make this vision a reality in our lives and in the lives of people that we know and love.